USC had its most impressive admission stats yet. Coming up, we'll share some of the most exciting numbers.
We're live at the Element Housing Complex where students filed a lawsuit against from them and their attorney coming up.
And Sin City is getting a football team. Sports anchor Kristen Lago has all the details on the Raiders' move to Las Vegas.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Admission notices for USC have started rolling out. Good evening, I'm Gabriella Vidal.
I'm Alex Salvi. The application process came to an end for nearly 9,000 students as high schoolers around the world received their invitation to join the Trojan family. Let's take a look at the numbers. USC sent out acceptance letters to a number of different students, and they are showing their ecstatic responses, and for good reason. This year's class in particular is one of the most selective of all time, with only 16% of students being admitted. That's 0.5% down from last year. 1 in 7 students will also be first-generation college attendees, an increase over last year's number. This class is also expected to be the most diverse in USC's history. The admitted class is made up of 26% Asian students, 14% Latino students, 6% African American students, and less than 1% identifying as Native American or Pacific Islander. 40% of admitted students live right here in California, with Texas, New York, Washington, and Florida being the next most represented states. The incoming class also has a strong international presence, with 16% of admits representing 83 different countries. New accepted USC students took to social media to show their excitement by using the hashtag #IGotIntoUSC. For many of these students, going to USC is a lifelong dream, and they were overwhelmed by the good news.
It's just heartwarming that they liked me, and I love them. It's really great, but it's really crazy to think about.
I mean, I opened it, I started screaming, my mom started screaming, it was crazy in here.
I just cried. And I was just so shocked that I got in because I wasn't expecting it at all.
For many students, this is the end of a long and tiring college application process. For those that are not sure, they now have until May 1st to make their decision.
Some students living at the Element are taking action in response to move-in delays last fall. Annenberg Media's Giovanni Mujayas is live at the complex and has an update. Giovanni?
That's right, Gabby. We talked to the attorney that's representing 5 students who filed a lawsuit against Stu Ho and Hoover Adams Holding, the owners of the Element Housing Complex. The students filed the suit because of delays caused by the construction you see here, which kept students from moving in August as they were originally promised. The move-in date was extended until September, then extended to October, and then again to November. Many amenities like the gym were still unfinished. Here's what the students and their lawyer had to say.
We weren't given what we were supposed to be given. It's pretty clear cut.
I don't think that it was reasonable that we had to live 4 miles away.
We don't think it is right that the owners and landlords of the Element should profit at all from their deceptions.
The attorney also said that students should avoid signing leases at buildings that aren't completed with construction to avoid situations like this from happening again. The court date is scheduled for September. Back to you guys in the studio.
Some big news coming out of the National Football League today.
Our sports anchor Kristen Lago has more on one team moving out of California and into the desert. Kristen?
That's right, guys. It's official. The Oakland Raiders are rolling the dice on Las Vegas. In a vote of 31-1, NFL owners voted to approve the team's 3rd relocation in franchise history. Owner Mark Davis said he is excited about the team's move to the entertainment capital of the world. In a statement, he said, "My father always said the greatness of the Raiders is in its future, and the opportunity to build a world-class stadium in the entertainment capital of the world is a significant step towards achieving that greatness." And though the news was announced earlier this morning, NFL fans and reporters alike cannot stop talking about it. As you can see from this Twitter page right here, Raiders, Oakland to Las Vegas, NFL owners, and Commissioner Roger Goodell have all been trending throughout the day. And one of the most recognized Raiders players, quarterback Derek Carr, who grew up right here in California, also took to social media with his take on the move. In a heartfelt message, Carr said he feels the pain of the fans in Oakland, but added that the team will be bringing a piece of Oakland to Las Vegas. And we'll have more on how the Raiders faithful are taking the news and how the NFL will be affected by Sin City's big gambling business later in the show. Back to you guys.
A California senator introduced a controversial new bill, which would provide the abortion pill on UC, CSU, and community college campuses in the state. Annenberg Media's Kaylee Heck talked to the health center at Santa Monica College about what would change if the bill passes.
Veronica Maloney pays a health fee at Santa Monica College.
I haven't utilized it yet, but I probably should.
Not many students know what health services the school offers.
There's a lot of stuff. I just don't know about it.
The campus health coordinator wants to change that.
We work closely with Planned Parenthood, Venice Family Clinic, and they do reproductive services and abortion. So the students are never without that resource for them.
And it may get even easier for students to get access to early term abortions.
So this is about helping make a stressful situation hopefully a little less stressful.
Senator Connie Yeva introduced SB 320. It would require public colleges and universities in California to provide early term abortions. A woman can take 2 pills and end pregnancy in the first 10 weeks. This bill means that students here at Santa Monica College wouldn't even have to leave campus to get an abortion.
I just feel very strongly that women of all ages should absolutely have complete control over their bodies.
The California Pro-Life Council opposes the bill. Chairman Brian Johnston telling Annenberg Media, quote, "The reason we oppose it is we know there is a second person. This is not a morning after pill, which would prevent conception." For now, the $19 fee at SMC only covers basic first aid and sick calls.
For kids that don't have insurance at all, I think that it provides enough support for them.
Simple coverage that could expand if SB 320 is approved. For Annenberg Media, I'm Kaylee Heck.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions had a message today for sanctuary cities. He said the Department of Justice will deny them funding if they do not comply with the federal immigration law.
Moreover, the Department of Justice will require that jurisdictions seeking or applying for Department of Justice grants to certify compliance with 1373 as a condition of receiving those awards.
Sanctuary cities have been popping up across the United States, and we spoke to a USC professor to learn more about what they have in common.
I think what you're seeing in action is really the frustration of especially local governments in not having cogent and workable immigration policy at the federal level.
The Trump administration says that sanctuary cities protect even those undocumented immigrants with criminal records. Deporting undocumented immigrants was once one of President Trump's main campaign promises. Anti-corruption protests in Russia and deadly airstrikes in Mosul are affecting thousands.
Our international reporter Claudia Buccio joins us now with the details. Claudia?
That's exactly right. More than 1,000 protesters were arrested following a weekend of rallies across Russia. Demonstrators were demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev. Earlier this month, an opposition leader, Alexei Navalny, released a report accusing the Prime Minister of corruption. Navalny helped organize a protest, and yesterday he was arrested in Moscow and will remain in jail for 15 days. While rallies in Moscow were chaotic, I spoke to a college student who attended the protest in St. Petersburg. She says the scene there was different.
It was quite peaceful, and actually in St. Petersburg, a policeman didn't prevent the crowd. Actually, it was quite big because over 6,000 people actually joined, but I hope that a lot more people could have come just to create an impression that each citizen cares.
Both the U.S. and Iraq are investigating the allegation of U.S.-led coalition airstrike that caused civilian casualties in Mosul. The Associated Press is reporting more than 100 civilians were killed.
Blame does not lay with coalition pilots or with Iraqi forces. An investigation will occur, but ultimately it's the terrorists who are using civilians as shield that are responsible for those deaths.
The American airstrike was an attempt to fight ISIL and has caused the Iraqi military to question the number of casualties in the region. The U.S. is investigating if there were additional airstrikes between March 16th and 23rd. The series of attacks in Mosul have caused thousands to flee.
Humanitarian situation on the ground has got increasingly worse. First of all, the number of people fleeing Mosul has increased. We either stayed and risked death through starvation or through being attacked in the very intense fighting, or we risked death by trying to flee, trying to escape to safety.
According to the UN, since October, 340,000 people have been displaced due to the fighting in Mosul. Back to you.
Today is the one-year anniversary of Waukesha Wilson's death. Wilson was an African-American woman who died in police custody. Annenberg Media's Aiden McMillan shows us how Wilson's community is still looking for answers.
Demonstrators celebrated Waukesha Wilson's life today, 1 year after her death.
She was vibrant. She embraced everybody.
1 year ago, Wilson was found unconscious in an LAPD jail cell. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. The death was declared a suicide, but her family is not convinced.
Yes, she had mental disability. I do too. That don't mean I'm gonna go out and kill myself. I'm not gonna do that, and she didn't do that.
The demonstrators here today have a list of demands. They say the most important of those demands is the firing of LAPD Chief Charlie Beck. They believe Beck has lied in the reports about the circumstances surrounding Wilson's death.
I'm a mad black woman, want justice, and they killed my baby. And then they lied about it. They tried to hide behind it.
But in January, the LAPD Police Commission found that officers were not involved in Wilson's death.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Today, Wilson's family and friends also celebrated the opening of a trust for the education of Wilson's 13-year-old son. One United Bank opened the $10,000 fund.
Every one of our children are important, and this is an important child to us.
Wilson's mother filed a $35 million lawsuit against the city back in September, blaming jail staff for Wilson's death. For Annenberg Media, I'm Aiden McMillan.
It's being called the largest auto recall in history. We have details on what comes next for Takata airbags.
And one of the most dangerous intersections in Los Angeles is right here by USC. We'll tell you where to keep your guard up.
And home buying for recent grads is more difficult than ever. We'll show you the bang millennials are getting for their buck.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on...
Was
it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
That's low, that's low. That's low and below.
Look, he's blushing.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
The Los Angeles Police Department has identified the Figueroa and Jefferson intersection near campus as one of the 5 most dangerous intersections in South LA. David Donovan of USC Transportation explains why.
Well, one of the reasons it's extremely dangerous, there's a lot of traffic that comes through here. Figueroa Street's a major north-south corridor. It has a pedestrian signal, but it's not dedicated like the ones at McClintock and Hoover, where they have a dedicated scramble. So I know there's a lot of kind of competing between pedestrians and vehicles trying to get through this intersection at the same time.
The LAPD is partnering with the Department of Transportation on the Vision Zero project, which aims to bring the number of traffic deaths down by 0 by the year 2025. They're increasing patrols at major intersections. One student we spoke to crosses Jefferson and Figueroa at least 4 times a week.
The one reason I can see this intersection being particularly dangerous is it's really wide and there's a lot of lanes of traffic, and sometimes it's confusing in what order things are moving. So you have a lot of people coming by at all hours of the day.
LAPD stats show that 44% of all deaths and severe injuries involving people walking or bicycling.
LA traffic is renowned as being terrible. However, the Metro Transport Authority's Board of Directors voted last Thursday to see what could be done to improve it. We spoke to one of these directors and a student who helped interpret the Metro data.
The overall goal of the motion is to improve the efficiency of the HOV lanes. In Los Angeles County, we have the nation's largest network of carpool lanes. We have 466 miles of lanes in the county, and we're going to be in the future constructing another 160 miles of carpool lanes.
While only one director voted against the study, many believe that adding more freeways and restrictions to HOV lanes are a temporary fix, and that officials should be pushing for more Metro use.
A study on countrywide housing markets named California as the worst place to be a first-time homeowner among millennials under 35. A USC expert weighs in on what sacrifices students might have to make to find affordable housing after graduation.
The other thing that's very important when you're purchasing a home is how much debt you currently have. So if you have student loan debt or credit card debt, that also impacts your ability to purchase a home.
It's probably not something that's in my foreseeable future.
States with the largest metro areas, including New York, Texas, Colorado, and Oregon, rank alongside California for the worst states for millennial home buyers. And so it was really windy today. I was a little bit surprised when just coming out, just how much the gust was just blowing in.
I know, it was a beautiful weekend. Unfortunately, the weekend had to end, but hopefully the weather doesn't. So Addie Stafford has more with the news.
Thank you so much, Gabby. And Alex, yes, there's a lot of wind today and tomorrow, but we're looking at a warm week ahead, lots of sunshine. Let's look at the current conditions. 72 degrees outside, lots of sun, a great night for you guys out there tonight. Let's check out the mountains for tomorrow. Big Bear is looking at actually 28 degrees tomorrow, very chilly. We're looking at 57 in Palm Springs. I bet the coast will be warmer. Malibu is looking at 54 degrees, and we're seeing 53 degrees in Simi Valley. Now let's check out the USC area for tomorrow. USC is pretty chilly, looking at 55 degrees there, 52 in Pasadena, but there should be a lot of sunshine tomorrow, lots of sun for the week ahead. Now, if you were outside, you did see the windy weather out there today. Wind warnings are in effect in Southern California for today and tomorrow. In Los Angeles County, we've had gusts up to 45 miles per hour, but gusts could get up to 65 miles per hour in some areas tonight. Now, high wind warnings have been issued in Lockwood Valley and Santa Clarita. They could get winds up to 40 miles per hour or greater, and wind advisories have been issued in San Fernando, Hollywood Hills, and in the Los Angeles area as well. So look out for that. That's all I have for you guys today. Back to you, Alex.
A press conference was held at the LA Trade Technical College today to discuss the local reactions to Takata's recent mass recall of defective airbags.
A diverse roster of organizations and leaders here today come together to help the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reach its goal of repairing 100% of the vehicles under this recall.
Over 1 million defective Takata airbags exist in Southern California today, with risk of premature explosions putting drivers in danger. Takata representatives are now issuing free repair to anyone who may be affected.
And so I'm curious a little bit more about the Raiders' move to Las Vegas. I'm wondering what might be up for them next.
I know, sounds like a good move for everyone except for Oakland fans.
Right. Well, let's take it over to Kristen Lago, who has a little bit more on the details of that.
Yep, that's right, guys. Sin City residents are about to say hello to their new neighbor, the Raiders. And while the move has its share of positives, the NFL will face a big risk there: sports gambling.
And the move has fans feeling all sorts of ways about their team. Sports are next.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Get your You're not in here.
Yes, I am.
Move! Give it to him hard!
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how.
Oh,
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to ATVN. The Raiders won't officially be moving to Las Vegas for another 2 years, but the relocation process has been a long time coming. For all of you at home wondering just how we got here, let's take a look at the timeline of the Raiders relocation. Now, the Raiders moved back to Oakland in 1995 after 13 years in Los Angeles. In 2009, the team began calling for a stadium upgrade. 6 years later, Mayor Schaaf says she won't use public money to fund that stadium. So in 2016, the Raiders filed for relocation, but back to LA. Later that year, when Los Angeles fell through, Davis began to support a move to Vegas, where the state approved the use of hotel taxes for a new venue. And while the team will be playing in Oakland for the next 2 years, come 2019, they will be moving into a nearly $2 billion stadium. The stadium will be located just off the Las Vegas Strip and will feature 65,000 seats and an open-air roof. The venue is meant to look like an oasis in the desert. And while a brand new stadium is a definite plus for the organization, moving to the gambling capital of the world is not without its risks. We spoke to USC professor Jeff Fellenzer about the economic implications of the move.
I think actually Las Vegas is a great market for the Raiders. I think they have a culture that's built up that feels like it could transfer easily to Las Vegas.
And finally, who can forget about the fans? Our sports correspondent Aaron Glazer has more on how members of the Black Hole are taking the news.
That's right, Kristen. Fans also reacted to the move to Sin City, taking once again to social media. Twitter user JacobyFC took heart for Oakland, saying, quote, "Betraying one of the most loyal fans in all of sports for money? Y'all should be ashamed." User Andy Ruther painted a picture of what the funny intersection of Raiders fan culture in Vegas could be, saying, quote, "The thought of a Raiders couple wearing face paint and spiked shoulders getting married in a Vegas drive-through chapel makes me very happy." Finally, Twitter user Andrew Weiss offered a solution for frustrated fans. He tweeted out, quote, "Dolphins were the only team to vote against it. Need a new team, Raiders fans?" Well, they may need a new team, but we asked some USC students what they thought of the move.
I've been a Raiders fan since I was really little, so I think it's going to be pretty hard for the fans.
I've met some Oakland Raiders fans who are really hardcore, really committed to their team, so I believe that sooner or later they will adapt.
I'm from Oakland, but I'm actually unbiased. I think it's good for Las Vegas.
Now again, the Raiders are not going to be moving anywhere for at least 2 years, so for now, Bay Area fans have a little more time to watch the silver and black. Back to you, Kristen.
Thanks, Aaron. And moving from Sin City back here to USC, the Trojan baseball team is looking to keep their back-to-back series win streak alive against San Diego State tomorrow. The Trojans took advantage of a 4-run fourth inning to give them a 7-4 victory over ASU last night. They were led by infielder Lars Nootbaar, who keyed up a big 2-out, 2 RBI double in the fourth. The team will be back in action at home against SDSU tomorrow at 6. And finally, it is rivalry week here on campus for the USC men's volleyball team, who is gearing up for UCLA. The last time these two teams met, the Bruins downed the Trojans in 4 sets. This time around, the number 11 ranked Trojans are looking to bounce back on their home court, riding a 5-match win streak.
Just coming off this streak, we're just ready to take on whoever, honestly. They're a really powerful team offensively, and defense and passing, that's for sure. Serve and pass is going to win that game.
Will look to keep their 5-game win streak alive on Wednesday at the Galen Center.
Thank you so much, Kristen. It's always a good time watching USC play against UCLA. The USC School of Cinematic Arts has received another hefty donation. We'll tell you who it's from next.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Or maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
The George Lucas Family Foundation once again made a hefty donation to the USC School of Cinematic Arts. The $10 million endowment aims to offer support to African American and Hispanic students. Today's contribution brings the foundation's total to $20 million.
Wow, that's a lot of money. But that's great. I mean,
Great for that school.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing, yeah.
Awesome.
And it's an incredible school, so I'm looking forward to seeing who will get that, actually.
Exactly.
So. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. From here at Annenberg Media, I'm Gabriella Vidal.
And I'm Alex Salvi. Goodbye.
Good night, everyone.